So we're going to do something different. I have been listening to people who train in the business and train in the field, and it really has given me a really good insight about why the business is so difficult for people. If you do what they're training you to do, in many cases, what happens is most people don't do anything at all. And that is a really bad piece of news. And I'm going to show you what that is. So one of the things that in our industry that we don't teach is how to make money. They talk about how to talk to people. They talk about make a list of your friends, make your memory jogger, make your, go to social media, write emails, do whatever you're going to do. But nobody says, how do you actually earn the money? What do you do to make money? Because we're talking to all these people, I still don't have any money. We're posting like crazy every day and we still don't have any money. And we're doing content every day and we still don't have any money. Like, show me the money, right? Like, where is that? So what I wanted to do is go through a couple of questions that I heard on a seminar the other day. I modified them a little bit because the questions are very helpful for me to help you, number one, and two, for you to help people that you might get into your business. Are we good with that? Finding motivated people, honey, that is the dream of every single business person in the world. The number of people that are motivated to do anything like this is very small. Why? Because it's a lot easier to go to work. Even if you get kicked around by the boss, even if you don't like anybody there, the certainty of the paycheck makes us all slaves. That's why people don't do this. Why? Because there's no certainty in the paycheck. Until you've got a team or a bunch of customers that are buying every week, every month, whatever, the paycheck is uncertain, and humans do not like certainty. Why? Because we pay rent, we pay mortgages, we buy stuff, and we enslave ourselves because most of the stuff is on a monthly payment plan. Why? Because it's easier for us to buy. That means you need to have a certain amount of money to pay off the credit cards, pay off the rent, pay this, pay that, pay card. Are you with me? So of course, how are you going to give up a job that pays for your habits of consumption when a business is not 100% sure? So you see that, so it's motivation, but of a certain kind. It's not that humans are lazy or that they're just dum-dums and they don't want to do anything. It's that they don't want to give up the certainty of the income that they need to cover their bills that they have themselves created by the purchases they make. Same for me, right? That's kind of how it is. How many of you have monthly bills that if you did not pay them would cause a lot of trouble at home? Anybody here like that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, that would be kind of a, yeah, bum, right? Totally. So we got to find a way to do this, to build it up on the side. I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. $1,000 a week or more. So here are 5 questions. We've reduced this to 5 questions instead of 6. And I want you to answer them as fast as you can. We won't dally, but I want to see what some of the answers are so we can target, to you guys directly. All right. So here are the 5 questions. I'm going to assume that you're all here because you want to get paid to do the business. Am I right about that? You want to get paid. Why do you want to get paid? Well, to bring in customers, and you want to get paid to own a distribution channel, which is a channel of people that are both buying and selling the product. Is that correct? You want to have a distribution channel. That's really what we have. You're kind of like cable TV used to be, or the internet. What are they? They have a distribution network, or say Fox News or Drudge or CNN. What do they have? Viewers, right? And networks and stations that reproduce or rebroadcast their stuff. And all those people that are out there listening to it pay a little bit of money, either by watching the ads, so they're paying attention, or they pay for cable. So much a month for your internet, $50 a month, $100 a month. Are you all with that? So this idea that our industry is a network, not just a friend. It should be a network of people that are mostly people you don't even know. Nothing is more joyful than to get orders coming in and you don't know the people, you don't know their names, and they're 15 levels deep. I can tell you there's nothing better than that. Most of the people who make the big money, of all the people in their business, say there's 50, 60,000 people that other people have brought in. They know maybe 50 people. That's the way it is with everybody. Everybody brings in their own people who is active doing the business, but the numbers of those people are very small. So you have to know how to fish so that they bite and not a minnow that craps out the day after you get started. Right? You want to learn how to do that. That's what we're doing here. Okay, so here's the question. This is what we want. We want a distribution channel all over the world of people that are customers buying the product and some people that are going to be helping sell the product to other customers. Are we agreed there? Say yes, we got that. We got that. We got that. We have that.
Yep.
All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to achieve that in the next 12 months? Now, remember, there's going to be a cost. So before you say, yeah, I want it yesterday, I'm going to tell you what you need to do to make it happen. So how many people want to achieve that? And we'll put numbers to it in the next 12 months. Have a big enough distribution channel of customers and reps so that you can maybe quit the job. What do we got there, Vic?
Oh, we got, let's say about half a dozen or 10s on that.
Okay,
So-
good. Okay, number 10.
Mhm.
So that means so not really is a 1, oh my God, yes, if I could learn how. So let me ask this. There are never guarantees in life, right? Business is not, that's what I mentioned at the beginning. The reason people don't do this more, or any business, affiliate marketing, or why don't more people work like Elon and invent something, or like Steve Jobs? There was no guarantee those rockets would ever work, much less come back and land 2 at a time on a spot the size of a dime from, the moon or wherever they send them. So we know there are no guarantees because it's the future. How much would you have to earn to make it worth your while to build this network? I want to show you how to do it here. Would it be like 500 a week? We'll do weekly numbers this time, okay? 1,000 a week, or say 2,000 a week? Because you're going to have to trade time and effort and money to get this for yourself. So which one of these numbers would you say, what would make it worth doing? How much would you have to earn from the business to make it worth your while to go out on a limb and start doing stuff before you see results? The key is doing stuff every day before you see results. Elon worked for 4 years, I think, before they got their first rocket not to explode. Now, nobody's asking you for 4 years, but think about this. You got to build it up. It's like building a high rise. You have to get the permits, you have to buy the land, get the permits, dig the hole in the ground. There's a lot of stuff before the tenants come in. How much would you have to earn to make it worth your while? What do we got here? Which numbers? 500, 2,000, or say 2,000?
It's like one, 2, and 3. So far, we've got it all over the place, Kim.
Okay, that's fine. Pick a number per week that you want to earn. That you would say, okay, if I got this, it would be worth some effort. Okay, here's the next thing. How many hours per week would you work every week to develop that income? How many hours per week? And I have time per week. How many hours per week would you put in to make the number that you said? For those of you who said 500, let's do 500. How many hours per week would you work to get that? 500 a week. So for those of you who said 500, put that in there. Vic, what do we have?
Nobody said 500. They started at 1,000.
Well, then, to heck with that one. 1,000 a week. Okay, how many hours would you put in per week?
Martin, that was you, so you get to answer.
Yeah, who said? Give me a number. It's going to take a while to develop. It just doesn't happen overnight.
Mhm.
So for those of you that said 1,000, how many hours a week would you put in? Tom Booth, 10 hours. Okay. That is perfectly good. Anybody else? Okay, so if you, for this, put your hours in.
Oh, there's
And then
another.
for the,
Martin says 25 to 30 hours to get 1,000 a week.
okay, so we have 10
Mhm. 25,
and 25 hours a week. Okay.
and another says 20.
And another one says 20. Okay, so we have the range 10 to 25. Yeah, you got to start thinking with your plan. Because to get this money, you have to do more than just tell us here, I want this. You're now going to have to become the person that makes that happen, right? It can be done. Don't get me wrong. For 2,000 a week, which would be, 8,000 a month, how many hours would you spend for
got
that?
one so far that says 15 to 20 hours.
Martin says you don't see all the responses. There are many responses. Okay,
and-
Chick, Vic, you better
yeah.
look harder here.
Well, I'm
Okay,
doing-
for 2,000, what do we have?
Yep, we've got 15 to 20 hours.
So for 2,000, Tom, you had 20 hours?
Mhm.
Susanna, when you said 40, is that for 2,000 or for a different number?
Right, okay, yeah, that's right. Hang on a minute.
So we'll say, how about 20 to 30 hours a week?
Yeah.
How about we start there? Because is there anybody here making more than 2,000 a week right now? Anybody? If you are, say me. Is there anybody making more than 2,000 per week right now in their business?
Yes, one.
Oh.
One, yeah.
What's that?
Andre is making more.
Okay, if that's you, that sounds good. Okay, so then we would want to have an additional, let's go say 5,000. Remember, this is per week. Okay, 5,000 per week. How many hours would you put in for that every week? That you would do certain things. So I'll show you what to do here. 1,000 a week, anybody? For 5,000 a week? Probably spend a lot of time, right? 30? You
Yeah.
probably spend more than that.
I
So
think
let's say
25 to 30. 25 to 30 is what that individual said. So let's say 30.
okay, all right, that's good.
Mhm.
All right, next up. Now, the next thing is how many months would you give yourself to develop that income? How many months?
12 months is the first answer. 6 to 12 months, second answer.
Okay, how many months would you give? Okay, because it doesn't just show up, the money. Before you would say, this isn't for me, I don't want to do this.
Mhm. A lot of 12 months and one for 3 months, 6 to 8 months. So far,
Okay,
most
so
12 months is the average.
so 6 to 8 months?
Mhm.
Whoop. 6 to 8 months? Okay, and then somebody had 12 months?
Several.
Okay. So you do whatever needs to be done for a minimum of 12 months. Is that what you guys are saying? To make this kind of income?
Yes.
Before you would say, oh, I don't want to, this isn't for me, because that's a possibility, It might be totally not for you. You don't know until you start doing it. Because remember, this isn't the only option in the world to make money. It's a very good one, which is why I like it, but it's not all there is. So you have to, at some point, you might say, I don't want to do this. All right, good. Let me give you some context here. I don't know how many of you know this, but you've heard of the actor Tom Cruise, who's now, I think, in his 60s. When he started acting about 30 years ago, I think, he went to his parents and he said, okay, I want to be an actor. And his parents said, well, that's very, what do you call it? It's not very certain. It's a very risky business because almost nobody ends up making it enough to make any money. They're all waiters in LA, right? And you know what he told them? What he wanted them to do? He said, if you would give me 10 years before you tell me to quit, I'll give it up in 10 years if I can't make it. 10 years. Okay. So given that, you think about how much time you'd give it to make this kind of income. Now, in his case, acting is very lucrative if you hit the jackpot, and if you really are a good actor. But it also depends how much you want the income and what you want to be able to do with it. But I want you to know that he said, would you give me 10 years? That is Tom Cruise's story. Does anybody want to change the number of months they give it, knowing that right now, or are you going to stay with your numbers?
Looks like
Leslie
we're
Moon,
staying,
whatever
yeah.
it takes. Yeah, totally. 10 years. But you have to now, the reason sometimes it takes people 10 years or 20 is they haven't changed what they do in a consistent basis. So the world won't change unless you do. Your world will not change unless you do, unless in very unusual circumstances, for example, you win the lottery or you bought crypto when it was like $5. And now you're looking, it's like, oh my gosh, my $5, 5 million. That's not what I'm talking about. You know, you can hope and pray for that. But in terms of stuff that you can do to change your income and your situation in life, you have to do something different every day than what you're doing right now. Does everybody agree with that? Even if it isn't this, see, tell me we're on the same page. Yeah. And mentorship is really important. And you know, Suzanne, it's not just mentorship. It's being around people that are doing the same thing and going through the same struggles and coming out the other side. That's really, really important. All right, let's the next question. Now, here's the last question for this. If you could see, and this is a question that I'm asking you and that you can ask your people, and these questions are all questions that you can ask anyone, by the way, who you're thinking about, that's thinking about joining your business. That's one of the things we teach you how to do. But let me ask you this. If you could see that there's a way that you could achieve this income, let's say that you said $1,000 a week. I mean, think about this. For $1,000 a week, that's $4,000 a month. How many here, if you had that, this would change your life in ways that you would notice? Who says me? That would change my life in ways that I would notice. $1,000 a week or $4,000 per month. If you could do that in 1 year, for whom would that change your life? To some degree, an extra grand every week into your bank account from your distribution network, your channel, like your TV channel, except it's your product and healing channel or whatever it is that you do. Do we have some people here who, yes, it would change your life?
Me, lots of them.
Yeah. So be real. You don't have to go for 10,000. If you want to say 10 or 20, say, I don't say whatever you say, but your mind will just laugh it off. You don't want that. To get to 10, you first have to pass 1,000 a week. In fact, you have to pass 500. So if you might have a long-term goal, like say, I'm in Florida now, but I used to be in LA, in San Francisco. And I would say, go San Francisco to New York. And whether you fly or walk or take a bike, you know, no matter how you get there, you're going to pass from California, Nevada, and New Mexico. You're going to have to cross all these states to get there. So yeah, you've got the long-term goal of 10,000 a week, 10,000 a month. But to get there, there are all these little steps you have to get through. Does that make sense? It's called the journey, the trip. And you want to be sure that you make the journey enjoyable so that you don't stop in Arizona and never go another foot because you can't stand anywhere else. You just stopped in Arizona, right? That's what many of us do. All right. So if you could see there's a way to achieve that with your company, whatever it is, would you want to take the next step and see what you have to do to make money with the network marketing? What's your answer? Yes or no?
Yes, many of them.
See, and now notice that we didn't say, would you sign up? Would you give me a boatload of money? We didn't do any of that. We just said, would you go the next step? So what's the next step for somebody? Well, you got to know what to do. What do you do here to make this money, right? Isn't that kind of the bottom line? Yeah, that's what we want. So for number one is you have to decide. Vicki, did I lose you or lose my image here? Hang on a second. Now, there you are. Okay, just checking. Because I don't want to lose my stuff. We have big storms going on here. I'm in Florida, you know, where they had these big wild weather. And so everything is just calming down. So first you have to make a decision. Decide. Who here would say, I am deciding right now that I'm going to do what it takes to make the income per week that I said that I want? Who says me? I decided. Let me see who decided. Because if you don't decide to do the thing, nothing's going to happen. So first you have to decide. Decide. And sometimes you haven't made a decision ever. You're just part of the community, and that's totally good. But if you want that Momo, and you're going to give it a year or even 6 months, decide that you will make the effort and not look back until 6 months or 12 months, whatever you said, because that is how long it will take the stuff to grow underground, just like plants, like there was a story Mary Kay used to tell about, I'm trying to remember, corn or something that grew under the ground, bamboo, Asian bamboo. And for 6 months, they would water it. 6 months. The people would come to water it every day and they didn't see jack. The ground was just as flat as the day is long, flat. You'll have results in 6 months, way sooner. But that's what they did. And then after 60 days or 90 days, I forget which, the bamboo would shoot up 60, I believe 60 feet. This is often what happens in a business like network marketing. Someday you wake up and somebody goes 3 levels down. They are some bat out of you know where, and they've signed up 80 people in a week. What? Oh, and it's on your weak side if you're in a binary, or it's close to you if you're in a breakaway or unilevel, and you suddenly have a whole bunch of checks coming in. That's what happens in this world. But you have to demonstrate that you will go the distance every day without seeing anything just yet, because that's the nature of the payoff. That's the price we have to pay for a business. Elon paid the price with 3 rockets that blew up. Everybody laughed and said, oh, you're never going to do it. $45 million each. That was almost his entire money that he earned selling PayPal. Almost all of it. That's the price he paid to get where he is now. They almost went bankrupt 3 times. So don't think like, oh, he's the lucky. No, get over it. Get over yourself. Get real. Get real. The price is paying time without results that you can see. And it might be for months. And you're going to think, oh my God, I don't have any money, or oh my God, nobody loves me, or and you'll think all those horrible things we all do. I promise you. But one day, you know, it's going to shoot up 60 feet because it always does. You know, almost always. So decide that you will go the distance. That's not today, but tomorrow, the next day, the next day. How many people do we have now that you know how horrible it could be? That's still decided. Yeah. Okay, then the new thing. Here we go. And this is going to be a change for a lot of you. You want to know what to do? I'm here to tell you. Business works like this around the world, including this one, even though they don't teach it the way I'm going to teach you right now. So I have a business. How many of you believe that you have a business? Tell me if you think you have a business. I have a business. Let me see in the chat. Who has a business?
Got a few that have one. Okay, 3, 4. Yep.
Well, the others of you, what do you think you have?
Now you got about a half.
If you don't have a business, what do you think you have? Because everybody here should say, yes, I have a business. If you don't have a business, what do you have? Whatever it is that you've got that you're marketing, if you're trying to sell it, you're trying to set up, or you're trying to do business. Business is what? Solve a problem for somebody somehow, whether you carry their refrigerator downstairs for them, or whether you sell them a product, or whether you do their accounting, or do their legal work, or do their training. You're giving something, and they usually give you money back. That's a business. So are we all clear that everybody has a business? If you're trying to get people to pay you money and you solve their problems, that's called business. Okay. If you don't have a business, then there are opportunities. For example, all the network marketing companies offer an opportunity for you to do a business. So the business is exchanging your product or service for money. Okay. In fact, here is what a business is. A business exists to solve a problem that people will pay for. This is Sir Richard Branson, who has many businesses, including Virgin Airlines. I'm going to tell you how that business started. You're going to be so surprised if you don't know. So business exists to solve a problem that people will pay for. Notice he didn't say business exists so that people, when you have one, a business, people will do you favors and give you money. How much can you scale a business if you think you're just going to go ask 3 friends for a favor? How much money is 3 friends going to give you who buy your product every month? Is that enough to quit the job? If your product is $100 a month and you make $10, say you get 3 customers, you make $30, $10 each a month. How far is that going to get you? Coffee? right? So think about this. Think about the numbers if you want to quit the job. You see how that works? So business, how many of you agree that business solves a problem that people will pay for? Apple computer, you have your phone. Why are people buying this? What's the problem? Well, you want to know everything happening in the world, in Kenya, New York City. So they have a phone now that allows you to see all the news, images, and beyond the phone, all of that, whenever you want. This is a take it with you, computer, news, stay connected machine. If you don't have one, most people think they're not living. You see what I mean? That's a problem people solve. You go to a doctor, get your eye fixed. What's the problem? Your eye, you're worried about your eyes. What does he do? Fix your eyes. That's what they do. You pay money or insurance. Do you see how that works? Tell me, yes, you have this. Business exists to solve a problem. You solve the problem and they pay you money. Okay. I want to be sure everybody gets this because everything hangs on this. Now, here is something that most of us don't know and think about. The problems that most businesses solve are problems that they have solved for themselves first. This includes Henry Ford, it includes John Rockefeller, and it includes Sir Richard Branson and Steve Jobs. They solved something for themselves and then said, Amazon, that whole service, the web service that they have, AWS storage, they set that up for themselves so they could have it 20 years ago. And they did such a good job. People said, well, can we use your storage? Can we be over there? All my videos are on Amazon. Why? Because they solved the problem for themselves. And then the world came and said, well, we want that too. And so they made a whole business out of what they call AWS, which is the web services that they have. Do you see that? Tell me, yes, you got it. How many people know how Virgin Airlines actually got started? Sir Richard Branson. Here's his story. He said, this is 30 years ago. It was a frustrating night at the Puerto Rico airport. I was supposed to catch a flight to the British Virgin Islands, but due to mechanical troubles, the flight was canceled. I was incredibly intent on getting to my destination. I had plans I could not afford to postpone. He says, at this moment of frustration, I had a light bulb moment. Okay, I'll just read it to you. It was at this moment of frustration, I had this light bulb moment. I thought to myself, why not charter my own plane? It was a crazy idea, but it seemed like the only viable solution at the time. So I went to the back of the airport. I found a chartered plane that was available. There you go to the phone booth back then. He negotiated a deal with the pilot to take me, this is Branson, and a bunch of other stranded passengers to the British Virgin Islands for a reasonable fee. That's what happened. With a plan in place, right? I walked back to the airport, stood on a chair, and looked over from the payphone area to all the other stranded passengers. Now, I've been to Puerto Rico many times. I don't know if you've ever been there, but the airport is basically tiny. So this is like staying in a schoolroom and standing on a, high school auditorium. It's not very big. Stood on a chair. And he says, calls to all the other passengers, all of whom are sitting there frustrated because the plane cannot, it's mechanical trouble and it's not going to go to the British Virgin Islands from Puerto Rico. And he says, I announce, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I have chartered a plane to take us to the British Virgin Islands. The cost will be, remember, it's 30 years ago, $39 a person, probably be $179 a person today because it's a short hop. Okay. If you're interested, please come over and let me know. Then he says, to my delight, a bunch of passengers came over and we quickly filled up the seats on the chartered plane. I collected the money and we all boarded the plane, relieved to be finally on our way to our destination. Okay. Notice he didn't ask for the money first. Hey, would you do me a favor? Give me $39. No. He solved the problem first that he had. See that? So keep this in your head. Looking back, he says, it's incredible to think that the idea for Virgin Airlines, where do you think that name came from? They were going to the British Virgin Islands, right? That's what he said. Where are they going? British Virgin Islands. That's where he wanted to go. So he said, it was born, this whole idea for this whole business, new business of Virgin Airlines was born out of a moment of frustration at the airport. It goes to show that sometimes the most challenging situations can lead to the most innovative ideas. Okay, y'all see that? See the order of things? There was a problem. He wanted to solve his own problem first. And while he was at it, he solved their problem because a chartered plane could hold more than just him, right? And then he asked for some money. Who gets this? This is the network marketer advantage. We hardly ever talk about this, but it is the prime advantage all of us have as members of this industry. It's a network marketer advantage. Who knows, based on what I just told you, who knows what the network marketer advantage is? Who knows what it is based on Branson's story? What is the network marketer advantage? What's the one thing we have over almost every other business?
The solution is already ready. Here it is.
What is it?
So what's the solution, Tom?
Anybody know what is our advantage? Okay. Susanna, you're the closest, honey. Have you solved a problem for yourself with your product or your business? Who here says yes?
Yep.
Who here says yes? Have you solved a problem for yourself or somebody near and dear to you with your product or your business? If not, do that first.
Mhm.
Have you solved the problem? I'm going to give you an example here in just a second. That's where it starts. Is there anybody here who has not solved the problem for themselves with their product or their business? That would be any before and after. For example, I used to not have any energy and I hit 40 and I thought, oh gosh, I guess this is the end. And I don't have any energy. I can't get it up at night. My husband, blah, blah, blah. And then I tried all these things. I tried coffee. I tried candy. I tried stimulants of all kinds. I tried sugar. I tried this. I tried that. And one day, yes, somebody said, well, here, why don't you try this stuff? This kind of weird, but why don't you try it? And I figured I got nothing to lose. So I did. And 2 weeks later, I'm all energetic and perky, like a, what is it? Energy bunny, Energizer bunny, one of those. And at night I'm awake and my whole relationship with my husband has changed. One lady told us that. And you know what her friend said? What did you take? Why? It's a problem. A lot of women have problem with husbands and husbands with women because they're wives because they've been together and they're kind of bored and they're tired and there's no love life left, let's say. But the minute she said, and now I got my love life kind of cooking again, you know, and she goes, you do? What did you do? What did you do? What you got? I want to try that. Problem, solution. She didn't care if it worked at the damn cellular level. See? No, I got my sexy back. You did? Yeah. How'd you do that? This is called solving a problem. And somebody else goes, what? I want to know how about that. Is that everybody going to say, oh my gosh? No, but the ones who do, they'll say, well, how did you do that? Well, here's this thing I'm using. Well, how do I get it? Well, let me show you how to get it. And you take them shopping like Vicki does. Because what if it works for you the way it did for me? Do y'all see this? Who's got this? Are you guys getting this? Like a teenager, really. Try the 40 plus set, I'll tell you. So yes, does everybody have a problem that they have solved for themselves? You have it before and after. Before, I didn't have any energy. Now I have it. Before, you know, I didn't even have my own money for nylons, but now I'm making almost 50 bucks a month from a couple of customers and I can buy my own nylons or I can buy my own lingerie. And I don't have to feel guilty about taking it out of the family budget. So either the money, what you can do with it, or the product. Got that? Now, this is where everything starts. Let me show you. Who would like to know how to do this? Who wants to know how to talk like this? So people go, oh, how'd you fix that? I want to know what that is. Give me that. So how do you get paid for doing your business? Because this is where it's at. The Richard Branson method: solve a problem, get paid. Not ask for a favor, get paid. Not talk about, oh, we're going to talk to our friends and, oh, you're going to make all this money. No. Solve a problem, get paid. Okay, who here gets this? want to make sure you guys got it. How many people are aligned with this? Agreed. If I could solve a problem, people would pay me. And I don't mean, somebody calling you to say, oh, why don't you help me carry the fridge from the 3rd floor to the ground floor? That's what a generalist does. If you come across as, look, I'm somebody who helps, I'll give you an example, but I help people with how not to pay taxes. They're not going to ask you to come and help with the refrigerator and carry it downstairs or take the grill and set it out on the deck. No, because you're not a handy person. You're somebody who helps people make sure they never pay more than $10,000 a year in taxes, and they take in $5 million a year. That's it. Suddenly you are positioned differently, and you want to position yourself as someone who can solve a problem. That's what allows you to get paid. Businesses solve problems that people pay to get solved, no matter whether they're massage businesses, cooking businesses, chefing businesses, television program shows, all of that. Are you with me? Tell me yes that you have it, because now I want to show you how to do it. And here's the network marketer's edge. We solved it for ourselves. This is an edge I've always thought was one of our most wonderful industry edges. Why? I have never marketed anything that didn't do something for me or something really close to me, somebody close to me. Never. I've never. I've never asked, will this make money? I figure if I like it, other people will like it. It's probably going to make some money. I have just that trust. Now today, you have to look a little more online and see, but there are ways to do that with ChatGPT. If you learn how to use that, you'll know all kinds of things. But our edge in our industry, and for most of you here, what is it? If a business exists to solve a problem people will pay for, right? You have the edge because you've got a problem that you solve for yourself, usually with your product. Who here can tell me, yes, I solved the problem for myself? Yes or no? Come on, you guys, wake up or I'm going to go away.
Yes, they're coming in now. I can.
Yeah. Good. Just stand up. Yeah, I'm standing up. Vic's probably standing up.
Oh,
Stand up. Get some juice out of your juju. You know what I mean? So that is how we talk about the business or the product in terms of the problem we can solve. Now, some of you are going to go, well, I have all this energy now where I got my sexy back, but will there be people who don't have that problem? That's right. Are there people who don't have a computer? Yes. Are there people who don't own an airline? Yes. Richard Branson owns an airline. That's his business. So it's different strokes for different folks. The market of people who have problems that have to do with energy, aging, thinning hair, sexy, money, relationships, health, income, is just about everybody in this world. So you have how many, 3, 4, 5, 10 billion people. And what you need in your business is just a few hundred people to make you a few $100s every day. So it's the numbers that are out there of people that have problems that you can solve are huge. And who makes more money in medicine? The generalist who does the family doctor, or the cardiac surgeon, or the eye surgeon, or the oncologist? Who makes more money in medicine? The generalist or the specialist? Let me see who's got this.
They got it. Specialist.
So you may as well specialize. Pick a problem that has been something, not that you think they need. No, start with yours. Why? Because if somebody says, well, how do I know it works? You can say, well, I don't know if it's going to work for you or not, but it worked for me. And what if it works for you the way it did for me? Would you like to try it? I have never changed anything that I said about that for 30 years? That's what Vic, right? So that's what we talk about. We don't talk about the product. We don't talk about cellular level. We don't talk about the DNA level. We don't talk about Dr. Dingaling and the science and blah, 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 blah. We talk about one thing. What is it? The problem we can solve for somebody. They don't want a science lesson from us. They want to know, can you fix my problem? Does that make sense? So let me give you an example. This is something that Vic and I are doing right now. We promote things from time to time just to be sure we still know how to do it. Because we have a lot of people that have been in the business 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and they made all this money and they have never made a penny since. Well, we don't want to be those people. So we got to stay smart and hot. And so every few years we build something. And so here's an example of how to lead with the problem. And I'm going to give you an example of what one of the things that we do right now. You want to see that? So somebody says to you, so what do you do? So Suzanne, what do you do? Tom, what do you do? John, what do you do? Any one of you, what do you do? And most people go, well, I'm a rep for, I don't know, Shackley, pick it, Live Vantage, pick anything. Or, well, let's see, well, and then they say I'm a nurse because they can't describe what they do in their business, right? So you want to answer the question with, I help. So you're positioning yourself as somebody who helps people with a certain problem. So here's an example. So what do you do? So I might say, well, we help people who have daily aches and pains. That's a problem. And they're on daily pain meds. That's their situation. And they want off. That's three things. People that have daily aches and pains, who are on daily pain meds, and they want off. So with this, they get pain relief in 12 or 13 seconds. Nothing goes into the body, so there are no side effects. So that's what I do. What do you do? How many people could say, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I want to know, how's that work? See, you want to be really specific. Really specific. That's very cute, Suzanne. You just want to be specific. Help people who have daily aches and pains, who are on daily pain meds, and they want off. Get pain relief in 12 to 13 seconds. Nothing goes into the body, no side effects. That's what I do. What do you do? Yeah. Because feeling like a kid again, although it's really cute, is not specific enough for what the problem is that they have right now. What is the problem for the people that were stuck at the airport in Puerto Rico? They were stuck at the airport in Puerto Rico and could not get to their place. They were going to have to wait 24 hours for a new plane. That was the problem. You need to know what is the problem. Have you got it? Their problem. Yeah. Jared Stein. Yeah, Vicky will give you, you get their like a little demo, you know. So, and you know, this is what we have here. And notice that somebody said, I'm interested, maybe you could tell me what you got. You see, it's the problem that we describe. And those people that say, you know, I kind of have an ache and pain, and I don't want to do the meds either, right? So what you got? This is the whole example of leading with the problem that you solve, but you have to be specific. Yeah. Okay. Does everybody get that? Tell me yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's really very interesting. You know, I have, since I was a child, I have had people in my life that take care of the house, like housekeeping and cooking and things like that. Is just the way I grew up. It's not like there is a lot of wealth necessarily. It's just these were the priorities. And when I went to college and I had, you know, like a 1-room place or 1.5 room place at the university, I had somebody come and clean it because I didn't want to do that. I thought I could make enough to earn somebody to pay somebody for that. So that's just the way it's been. And most of the people that I've had as housekeepers, maybe 5 or 6, I've kept for 10 years. One of them I had 15 years. So we have long-term people, you know. And one of the things about housekeepers, particularly good ones, because we have them come like 3 times a week, is they always have aches and pains. And I have really never been in the business of marketing anything to do with pain relief, because it's just not my cup of tea. But people around me have that issue. And now when I read what the pharmaceutical people are doing and how many drugs everybody's trying to get you on so that you don't think straight and your organs start falling out and you become dependent. As a person who is an independent person, an entrepreneur, it's very irritating. And I want to help as many people as possible not become slaves, not only to their work, so they're stuck and don't spend in such a way that you have to have a job, but to drugs that don't help you. They give you, yes, a moment or two, but then a week later, your liver doesn't work. So I'm very anxious to help people get off. So I have a housekeeper and she has a husband who is a contractor. And they brought over from Brazil 40 families to help this guy with his construction business. And they're all achy and painy all the time. Why? Because they're in the construction and housekeeping and cleaning business. That's physically very demanding. So she wants to get rid of her aches and pains and her husband's aches and pains. And, you know, they have a whole community. I don't have to say anything. They're all walking to this hurts and my butt hurts and my boob hurts and my back hurts. Why? Because they lift things. They're in an industry, construction, housekeeping, cleaning, that is physical, gardening, landscaping, and sitting on your butt doing coding. It's very physically demanding because you don't move or you move too much. So, you know, you never know where things go if you have a focus. So just figure out what you can focus on and then you can do your thing. So that's it. So who do you help? We help people that are on daily pain meds and know they have to get off. And they get pain relief in 12, 13 seconds. Nothing goes into the body, so no side effects. That is what, and then you say, that's what I do. What do you do? Always flip it back. That's what I do. What do you do? And if you have a good story of a problem you have solved like this, they will say, wait. What? How do you do that? What'd you say? Then you have their attention, which is the number one thing we cannot get, is attention of other people, because we want to start with telling them science lessons. Let me tell you about this DNA, the best product in the history of the world. Dr. Dingeling approves it, okay? So you lead with a problem you can solve, okay? Something you solve for yourself or someone who's near and dear to you. I've never done drugs, but I have people that I know in my life who have, for whatever reason, and they just want to get off because now everything is breaking and they're sorry they ever got started. So I feel kind of missionary, you know, about that. Do you have a problem that you solve for yourself or with your business? That is the key thing, okay? Like Richard Branson, when the plane couldn't fly, and he started a whole new business because he solved that problem. This is what I'm saying you can do. You can pivot from whatever you've been doing, which might be nothing because you can't stand asking your friends, won't you buy from me? Be just one customer, just 1 month. I mean, that's really laying the pressure on your friendships. So if you start a whole new business about who can you help with the problem that you solve for yourself, do you see how this might be a whole new path, a whole new way of thinking for you guys? Who here agrees? Let me see here. We got, who agrees with this? That is how you get paid for your business. You solve a problem that somebody else will pay for. And if they don't know what you solve, because you never put it out there, that you're the Dr. Fix by Heart for men over 55, whose whole family has died of heart attacks for the last 50 years, you want to be sure that you hear that funny tick, come to Dr. Fix by Heart and we'll check you out. Who's going to come? The line's out the door. It's specific. And most of us will worry that, well, if I say I only do this, well, will I miss everybody else? Yes. But if they don't really, if you have a pain relief or you have an energy or you have something with money or credit, those are the people that you want. It's like buying a size 8 shoe or shirt. Won't you miss all the size 10s and 12s? Yeah, you will, but they don't fit you anyway. And this is the same with the people. They don't fit you anyway. So just get the ones who are waiting for your call. My sheep hear my voice. Call your sheep, not mine or not Vicky's or not somebody else's. Yours are the ones whose problem you can solve because you solved it for yourself or somebody close to you, okay? How many people would like to do business like that? Let me see who says yes, because we're at the end now here, okay? You're not going to scale a business with people doing you favors. That's just not how it is. Maybe you get one person, but you also strain the relationship, okay? Okay, everybody here has a before and after. Before this product, I was lame and now I can walk. Before the product, I was kind of blind. Now I can see. Before the product, I didn't have a sex life, but now I can't even, you know, go home at night because there's all waiting for me, right? That's a before and after with your product or your business. Even if you're making $50 a month. One of the people in the Juice Plus company, one of the top 3 earners, started because she had a very well-to-do husband, and she's this gorgeous lady, Southern lady. And when she first got married, she married this guy, and he married her because, of course, she was so gorgeous. And so he would not give her any money. They lived in a mansion. The kids went to all the private schools, you know, the Waldorf and all that stuff. And he wouldn't give her money for nylons. He used to make her write a purchase order, if you can believe that. I would have killed the guy in the night. Say, you dork, you're gonna think, you think I'm doing this, you're not nuts. But I wasn't married to him, so I didn't have a chance. And one day she had some friend coming over for coffee or something, and she had left the purchase order on the table where they were sitting. And this friend said, so a purchase order, so are you have a business or something? And she said, no, my husband wants me to fill in a purchase order every time I want nylons. Because he said, you just bought some, so why do I have to? So submit that. And the friend was like us, probably going, what did you say? This is your husband? He's doing this? And she said, yeah, that's kind of how it is. And she said, well, if we have this business for people that are, trying to get healthy and look sexy and stay sexy forever. And of course, what woman like that isn't interested in that? She was. And she said, all right. She said, I'm sure you could maybe earn enough to buy your own nylons. And so her whole stories talked about nylon money. She got nylon money. And in 2 months, she made enough customers. She got enough customers that she could buy her own nylons. And she didn't need to write her purchase orders anymore to her husband. And then 4 or 5 months later, she made like $100, $150 a month with her business. And about a year later, she had hit like $2,000 in a month. And she said to her friend, the one that saw the purchase order, she said, if I could just make $5,000 a month, which is only, a little bit more than 2 times what I'm making right now, I could leave him. I wouldn't need him for anything. I wouldn't need him at all. If I could just make $5,000 a month. I think a year and a half later, she was at $5,000 a month. She left him, and now she makes millions per year. What was the problem that she had? Her friend said, what are you, crazy? You're writing purchase orders for your nylons? Get your own money, get your nylon money. That's how her story started. It wasn't about $50. It was about not having the freedom to buy your own nylons. That's pretty bad. Right. So think about that when you think about the money. Nobody wants just the money. They want it so they can do X, Y, or Z. So that's what you want to do. So let me show you how you market this. You go social media posting. You can do referrals. There are marvelous ways to do this through referrals, by the way, particularly if you're on somebody else's page and somebody else's group, if you know how to do it so you don't get kicked off. You can do email. You can do warm market. Some people even run ads. All the ways of putting out the problem that you solve. So people go, yeah, I want to know about that. Like somebody did here. Got a lot of aches and pains. Don't want to do drugs. Want to get off. There's a way. I got aches and pains. I want to know what that is. It's not that we're so great. It's that we've learned to call out a problem. Business is about solving a problem people will pay for. Remember? So that's what you want to do. So we have a class, but before I do this, because we're at the end now, are there some of you who would like some help of ours to do that? So you can learn how to do that? Because if the answer is yes, I'll show you what we have. We have like a little mini course we made for this, but I don't want to do it unless you want to hear it and you want some help. So I'll just wait on you. You tell me. Yeah, was that fun? Who would like to know what they could do if they want some extra help of ours to be able to do this and actually make money from your business by being able to solve problems?
Got some yeses, Kim. Yes. Half a dozen yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is a mini program called the Positioned Network Marketer. Why? You're going to take a position in the marketplace. I'm somebody who helps people with this problem. That's what it means to be positioned in the mind. Like there are eye doctors, there are cardiac doctors, there are corporate lawyers, there are divorce lawyers. They have a position. Why? Because if you have a problem, you go looking for divorce lawyers for women. That is a position that you want filled. And so you go out and look for it. And smart women who are lawyers, who are women's lawyers, or smart lawyers who are men's lawyers, husband sides, will position themselves as that lawyer who helps women, or that lawyer who helps men not get taken to the cleaners, right? So you position yourself in a specific way. as someone who can solve a certain problem. That's what we show you how to do. So this is a small class, 3 weeks only, so you can go fast. And here's what's in it. You're going to learn what is the problem and how can you say the words so people know what the problem is that you have solved for yourself. Because a lot of you have had a lot of results with your products. I had this and I had that, and which one should I choose? So that's number 1. Week 2 are, what are the special sauce? What's the special sauce you've got that it makes you different from everyone else? Like with the pain thing we've got, people have aches and pains, a lot of people. People want to get off drugs. A lot of people want to do that. But then we have, and this is something that'll give you relief in 12 or 13 seconds. Not too many people can say that. But then the last part is nothing even goes into your body. So there's not a possibility of side effects. That's quite a unique special sauce. You all have that. All you need is to figure out what that is. So we help you do that. And what are the consequences if you don't fix it? Well, Branson, the people would have stayed overnight, maybe 2-3 days. Aches and pains, your liver is going to fall apart. Your organs are going to start, your clarity, you're going to get foggy. These are consequences that people buy products for to avoid them. And 3rd week is silver tongue. How do you say the words so the right people come to you? Like we had here. Jared comes and says, hey, I want to know what that is. You saw it right here. Okay, that's what we're doing. So how much is it? You're going to be surprised. It's kind of, we have a 6-figure advisor program that's $15,000 for people. And sometimes they go really fast, like in a month, and sometimes it takes them a year. It's a total transformation of who you think you can help and who you become. Because all of you should know that if you don't change anything every day that you do and how you think, your income and your life is not going to change. You got to be somebody who can earn the money that you want. And if you were that person now, you wouldn't be here. I have to be somebody else to be earning the income I want. So I'm constantly looking to evolve faster, in this lifetime. We all have some place to go where we aren't yet. So it's always evolving. Okay. So you're used to seeing prices like $2,000, and we thought $997 would maybe be good. But what we decided is we didn't want to charge $997 because we didn't want you to have a reason to think, oh, I won't do this. So we wanted to make it easy. So we decided to make it $495 for the 3-week program. You can jump in like in 5 minutes if you want and get started. Because there's a payment plan too, by the way. Here's what the order page looks like. So Vic, you could put it in there and put the link in there so people can see that. This is what the page will look like. We have a little bonus program, especially for people. The bonuses come for people. We have one bonus for people who do this, who get and decide here in the next 24 hours. I wanted you to know that on the order page, you have a couple of options. We have a couple of payment options. You can do a single pay for $495 and be done with it. You can do a 2-pay, or you can do a 3-pay. So if you wanted to decide, if you decide, I'm doing this, I'm going to position myself as somebody who can solve a problem, become a specialist, be highly paid, and get paid doing my business because I solve a problem that I solve for myself. You want to take one of those options and change your life. Because in the next year, if you want to achieve the 500 a week, 1,000 a week, 2,000 a week, if you do not make a change in how you position yourself, you won't have a chance to make any income of any significant sort. It's very hard to go around the way they teach you. Oh, do me a favor and buy my product, or, oh, you can make all this money. You see, that's not problem-based. That's making promises, most of which you can't keep. Notice I've never said to anyone here, you can make all this money. Why? Because I can't promise what you're going to do. But I know that if you position yourself as somebody who can solve a problem and you talk to somebody who has it, there's a very good chance you'll be a speed bump in their search to find help and say, oh, wait, whoa, what have you got? You see, that's really what you're looking for. Okay, we have some wonderful bonuses for folks. A lot of people have gotten this class just to get this first bonus here. I'm going to show you. It's just to help the ambitious ones. Who here's ambitious? Ambitious. Got any ambitious ones, Vic?
I've got 2 good ones with bold letters.
Yep. Yeah, ambitious. We have a program called The End of Rejection. that people pay when they buy it. They go to the website and buy it for $695. It's a program that shows you how to position yourself so really almost nobody says no. And if you position yourself as solving a problem, who's going to say no? For example, how many people have ever heard it's too expensive? Anybody ever heard that? It's too expensive? I see. Who here? Has anybody heard too expensive?
Yes, exclamation mark, a few gazillion times.
Right? So let's say you have a skincare product and somebody goes, oh, yeah, it's too expensive. Well, one thing you're going to learn in this class is how to never hear it's too expensive again. And we learned that in the first year. And how do you do that? Well, instead of telling somebody, oh, I got this great product, it's not a problem, not a problem. You're not talking about a problem. You're talking about how great you and your product are. And you're going to love it and you have to try it and blah, blah, blah. So that's how most people push products onto people. It's the greatest thing. You're going to love it. It has all these wonderful ingredients. And Aunt Lulu, you got to try it. So she tries it and she says, yeah, I like it. So you're going to buy it? No, it's too expensive. So you're all depressed. Well, you didn't start with the problem and you didn't position your product as anything for anybody special. So there's no telling what you're going to get. Like, what is it? Gump, the thing about the Tom Hanks was in that thing about, right? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right? Like that. So instead of having this person keep talking about how great the product and the skincare and, cellular level, and it works at the dermal level and blah, blah, we had to say, okay, this product is for women who obsess about their skin, who love facials, who love to go to spas. It's for people like that. Do you know anyone who might like to know about something like that? Did you know that she never heard it's too expensive again from anybody that obsessed about their skin, had facials, went to spas, and was just crazy about their skin? Why? Because those are the people whose problem is constantly, how am I going to look gorgeous? I got to look more gorgeous, more radiant, more beautiful, more this. Your product is probably for $80, $90 a month. It's probably going to look to them like it's cheap because they pay $2,400 for a jar of La Mer. Do y'all see that? So you learn, how to do these things. Then we have a sales letter that one of my affiliates paid a sales letter writer, one of these gurus, paid him $3,750 for this letter. And they sent that letter to their list to sell a program of ours. The letter generated $137,000 in sales in 10 days. I want to give you that letter with the analysis so you can use it to write emails and postings. Okay. And then another bonus here is Mr. Rogers, the third one. Mr. Rogers had the TV show, Welcome to the Neighborhood, I think it was called. And he, in 6 minutes, earned $20 million in 1966, I think. And we have his video that he did because it's on, and we did the analysis. So you can use his wording and his phrasing. You're not going to be asking for $20 million, but he got $20 million in 6 minutes. And he never used one piece of jargon. He didn't bring in children who were like, starving, none of that. He just told me, I really care about kids and what they see. And here's what we teach in that class. Here are the problems that we try to solve. And the Senator Pastori, who was overseeing the Senate committee, was about in tears. And he said, you've got the money. Don't even worry. You got the $20 million. You want to know how to do that. That's part of the bonus here. Okay. And then of course the book, If My Products Look Great, How Come I Can't Sell It? The Orange Book. So that's what I got for you. If you want to get paid for your business by solving a problem, which is what every business does, then this might be a class you want to consider, particularly since it's a mini class. All right, that's what I got for you. You got some questions for me? It's quite tricky, huh? To talk about the problem you're solving. It's a little easier to talk about what you've got. Tell me what problem you solve for people.
Here he is now saying CBD, something else. I'm not sure what that is. Homework.
Yeah, those are all the names of the products. Tell me what the problem is that anything solves.
If they are aging, we have ageless. If they want better mileage, we have fuel factor.
Yeah. See, that's talking about what they want. You need to tell me what is a problem that you solve with your product, because that is what you put out there. You see, Tom, how interesting it is? It's if I say, well, who do you help? You tell me all the names of your products. Ask me who we help for network marketing. I'm not going to list my products. You didn't hear that till the end. This is just one of things that we have. But if somebody says, so what do you do? How do you help people? I wouldn't go to send them to my Kim Flavor Academy and say, look at all that stuff. I say, we help people who are network marketers who don't know what to say to people without looking like they're salesy and pushy. So we help people with that. That's what we do. You know product, you don't know what the products are. And that's how you need to reposition in your mind what it is that you do. You're not a product pusher. I have this for that and this for that. And no. What's the problem? The major one that has affected you. See, and once you start doing that, think about religion. The people that become the missionaries are all the people who say, so why are you a missionary? Well, because I had this horrible problem. My husband was a drunkard, or I had this problem. They had a problem. And then they came to the church and they decided they were going to buy into the church, and they got so quote unquote saved. You know how that's what people say. And now they want to go to help other people that have had problems with alcohol or abuse or no mission. And their solution is, we're going to introduce you to Jesus or to the Buddha or to whatever the religious group is. So you can't start with, I got a Bible or I got CBD. See how that works, Tom? In order to get interest, you got to solve a problem.
He says the biggest challenge is for people and me to make more money and make it quickly.
Yes. And the way you got to do that is position your stuff. If I were you, get into the class. It's the first thing you'll learn to do. You cannot make money talking about your products or about your business. You have to solve a problem. And listing your products is not solving a problem for somebody. So you see, there's a reason you're not making money. And the reason it's not just you. Don't think it's just you, Tom. No. 99% of the people in the business don't make money. That's why they all quit. Because they all are, if we say, what do you do for people? Well, I have, just like you, I have CBD, I have Hemwork, I have Fuel Factor. That's a listing of your products. It's like going to Walmart and say, Walmart, what do you do for people? Well, we have this product, that product. No. What does Walmart do for people? Cheap stuff and the same quality. It's for people who don't want to pay more than they have to and get a big selection. That's what Walmart is for. What's the problem? They don't want to pay more than they have to pay. And they still want to get, Sam Walton's first thing, many years ago was, he said, everybody was selling 3 undies for $1. This was like 30 years ago, 40 years ago in his book. And he says, so we decided that we would go to the maker of these undies, I forget who they were, and offer 4 undies for $1. And he said, that brought in, instead of 3 undies for $1, same quality, 4 undies for $1. Why? Because they got a better deal on undies of this particular brand. And it brought in hundreds of women to his store that Saturday who wanted the 4 undies for $1 instead of 3 of the same quality. What was the problem? They didn't have it. They wanted to get more for their money and not lose on quality. And that was an example of what they could do, offer 4 for $1 instead of 3 for $1. So you have got to, that's why people in this industry won't make money for years to come. Why? Because you keep talking about the product. People don't care about your product. They care about the problem it can solve. And once you understand that, think the Richard Branson story. He didn't go around saying, hey, give me $49, or he solved the problem first. We're all going to get on a plane now and go. So that is the biggest challenge. What you could do, Tom, is get in, do the small down payment, learn how to do it, and come back and tell people here how you've changed and how you're now actually making some money. That is the greatest thing that you could do for yourself. Be that person who changed from talking about the product and all the stuff you've got to the problem you solve. Yeah, what we'll do is, for anybody who comes into this program today, before midnight tonight, I will review your before and after statement personally to be sure that it is a signature statement that when you put that out there, people with that problem will respond. But you have to be in tonight. Any of the options that there are there.
What a deal.
So if there's somebody who wants to take me up on that, you got to be invited tonight. What you do is connect with Vicky. And I will look at your before and after statement so that it's clear what problem you can solve. We help people with this problem. Okay,
Thanks, Kim, and
all
everybody
right, you
else.
guys. Good to see you all. So Vic, catch you later.
Talk soon.
All right.